Wow. Oh, okay. So my next question, and then we're going to open it up to the audience. If you all have any questions or comments, do you feel like coaches, school support staff, do you think they prepare students enough to go to that next step? Because we know a lot of parents, right, think all their kids is going to. It's like little Tommy is not going. And so it's this idea that everybody's child is going to the NFL or to the NHL, to the NBA, and it's just not a reality, right? And so when that parent thinks that their child is just the best player out there, and they pump them up for 12, however many years, right? And then when that doesn't happen, when they don't go further, they're devastated because everybody around them has hyped them up so much to where it's like they're average at best. I mean, let's just be real. Most of these kids are average at best, and the parents, the community are the people that kind of pump them up. And so do you think we're doing a good job of being honest and real with our students? I'll just leave it, you're not the student, so. Go ahead, and I see you. I know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm like, at some point, it's hard to bring like the 80s/90s into this because a lot of these kids break easy.
That's a different generation. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm not gonna sit here and just fabricate a story like, hey, hey, if you do yada yada yada, then maybe you will.
Yeah.
But then you got that parent on the sideline. Oh, you played such and such. Why you didn't play? And you just don't want to say your son sucked.
Your son is not good. Yes.
They're on the team because I like him. It's a great student.
Right.
I like your kid. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
it's just like I don't know. We and sometimes we fail a kid because, like you said, the outside perception of everybody is, oh, they saw him play when he was in 3rd grade. Now he in 8th grade, and it's, well, I remember when he, when they ain't playing him. It's like, how hard did you work from 3rd grade to 8th grade? Where everybody thinking you finna be that. You know what I'm saying? But like I was telling them, when you leave the city of Saginaw and you go somewhere else, there is someone as good as you or better than you.
That's right.
All the time. So it's just not like Saginaw is just big. You know what I'm saying? You get outside of Saginaw, oh, you gon' make it happen everywhere else. So yeah, we just gotta stop creating this figure that's not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes some kids not even athletic.
No, I know. I'm like, how in the what is going on? I know.
They want to play because my friend playing, so I'm gonna play.
Yes.
And it's like, man, and it's hard working in the school doing this because once you cut them and you got to see them every day, I don't care. She cut me. I ain't going to class.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
and the
wrong
parents
person.
want to
I'm
talk to
sending
you
you home with your mama. So
yeah, I know.
I don't care.
No, I appreciate that's true. I mean, some of the kids are not, and when they're 3rd grade, 4th grade, it's cute. Let them go out there and play. Right. But as you get older, you have to be realistic, right? And I don't think that we're honest enough sometimes. What do you all feel like, especially like once you get to the college level, right? Because I think people see that too. They play in high school and they're the star. They're in the newspaper all the time and the town hero, right? But then they get to college and they realize that even people on their team play better than them, and they may not start like they did in high school. Do you think we're preparing them enough for when they go into? I mean, if you've worked with people in the college level, or if you play college level, do you think they're prepared enough when they get there to understand the reality of things, right? Because we do coddle these kids too much and not honest with them.
No.
Okay, because you can't even dribble. How you on the team?
No, we don't do a good enough job of preparing them, but we don't do a good enough job of preparing them for the business of college sports. Right?
So talk about that, because talk
because
about that.
Because a lot of times, like, we just think it's. All right, I'll give you an example. So you're from Saginaw, Michigan. You're a great athlete. I'm gonna call you a football player, but you decide to go to school in Texas, go to the University of Texas, become a Longhorn. They gave you $1.1 million to go. You're a big time recruit. Great, fine. But you are from Saginaw, Michigan. You're going down to Austin, Texas. So you got to understand the difference, especially when you're talking about coaches. There are people that are in those coaches' room that are going to pull for you, and there are going to be coaches that are pushing against you. Even if they're recruiting for you. Why? Because I got a guy that is better than you, and I want to get him on. And suffice to say, I probably kissed the Coach Bud, say, hey, Coach Bud, a little bit better than you, right? And so I want my guy to get on, so I'm going to downplay your guy. Or when your guy gets here, he may or may not have all the same resources. That's the business of college sports, though, right? And that's where we lack at. We say, hey, go in and outwork guys. Or you got more talented, similar to what Big Job was saying. Because you got talented or you got height, that doesn't mean you're good enough. That doesn't mean that you get a chance to step on the field or on the court. What that means is that you got an opportunity to put on a uniform and then compete. But sometimes even competing at a high level does not mean that you will be successful or you will get the opportunity that you believe you deserve because of the business side of college sports. And we don't talk about that enough. As well as when in high school, the thing I would say is when we show up. Everybody shows up to the games on Friday nights, but do you show up to those PTA meetings? Do you show up to those choir meetings? We always talk about what other resources, or what else it can be when they take off the uniform. Well, where were you at when that uniform was off, right? That is when you have a strong support system that will hold you accountable, not just on the court, but off the court, right? There are a lot of student athletes that barely are making it, especially, I don't want to get into it, but because of COVID, some of the academic standards are not as high as they should be or they once were. So now what we're doing is we're pushing these athletes through, but they still don't know how to persevere. So they do just enough work just to get by, and then when they're done playing, then it's like, all right, now what do I do? Now who I am? Because now we got an issue in which we're gonna have some of these athletes barely graduate from these schools that have been making millions of dollars. And then now you gotta tell them to go get an entry-level job at Amazon, and they barely will make $40,000. But he was just making $1 million last year.
I cannot
How
believe
does
they're
that make
making that
sense?
money. I cannot believe they're making that money.
They're making it and some.
Wow.
So
Woo, I did not know that. I mean, school me. Wow. Okay. Woo. Okay. All right. So one last question, and we're going to open it up. If you could go back, what kind of guidance or program would have helped you prepare for your transition? Do you think that there's something that could have been put in place to kind of help with the transition, like kind of like put in place for you to be able to acclimate to your new life? Something that if you can look back, or something that you might want to do for your students now, what do you think could have been there for you to kind of help you know that next step? Because I agree. I don't think people are honest with each other as much as we need to be. I mean, they look to us for guidance, and I don't think that we're giving it in that real transparent way to prepare them for the world out there. I mean, it's everybody's not gonna coddle you. You know, your parents think you're the best, but everybody doesn't think that, and so you have to prepare them for that reality. Do you think there's any type of programs or any type of realizations that you would have had or could have had to be able to make that transition a little bit easier?
I don't have anything different. I think my support, I had someone that was anti-sports on my side, so that worked out great for me when I stopped playing sports. So because he was more focused on education, making sure that I'm building understanding what a 401k is, making sure I understand my future. He kept me going to church even when I didn't want to when I was an undergrad. Like those things outside of sports, and I had everyone else support me when it came to athletics, which was great. But I always had one person say, hey, yeah, but what about this? Or what about when this is over with? So for me, it was great because I had the balance, the yin and yang.
The balance,
So,
yeah. I like that. Josh, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I think, and this is going to sound a little bit, I guess, self-promoting now, but I think I feel like what I'm doing now in my profession is what I could have used when I was an athlete 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So just the mental game coaching. 2019, the NBA was the first American professional sports league to mandate mental game coaching, or whether it was a social worker, whether it was a sports psychologist or a clinical psychologist on staff. It was 2019. So we're behind in this, but I think you're seeing more and more Division I programs have mental game coaches or consultants. So it's not at the Division II level at all yet, but I think that would be a big advantage for athletes.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, that's a big thing, and I think that we look at the difference when you do the studies and you look at history. Like historically, people didn't talk about mental health at all. I mean, you just suffered through it, and you did what you needed to do. And people, and if you went crazy, they just called you, crazy Johnny on the court. You just was crazy Johnny. Nobody asked me questions. They let you be crazy, right? And that's how we just kind of did it.
Yep.
And now people are identifying things a little bit better and saying, hey, this is what this looks like, right? This is the help you need. I mean, even when they came out with all the studies with concussions and stuff, right? Nobody knew why people were experiencing what they were experiencing until they started doing the studies and put language to it. So I think that it's important what you do to be able to put language to stuff, because sometimes people don't have that community around them saying, you need to go talk to somebody or something, you know, because just dribbling that ball is not therapeutic enough for you. You need to go do something else to get through that. So I appreciate that. Did you want to add something, Dallas?
Yeah, I'll just say, so I'll always be an advocate for mental health services and having that kind of training and available for everybody at every level, for any athlete, any student, anybody in the world is really what's my hope. But I think kind of Carlos's point brought up a little bit, just like we always preach, you are a human first. So like we always try to say, like, yeah, your skills will get you noticed, but they're gonna recruit you because you're a good person and you have good character and you're coachable.
Is that true all the time? I don't know.
I don't know,
Do you
maybe
think so?
not,
Okay,
but
maybe.
that's what we tell
It
him
sounds-
because, well, at the end of the day, like, I don't want him to be, you know, not who he is to his core. I want his
Sure.
morals and his values to guide him in his life. And it's also like, hey, I want to go play lacrosse at Johns Hopkins. Okay, buddy, well, those are doctors. So, like, you know, just because you want to be a Blue Jay, like, that's great. But, like, what do you really want to do after? Like, you can't just decide on a school because of the athletic program, even though that's a great goal. Like, also getting those professions. Yeah, cut me off here, Carlos, if you need to.
No, I was gonna say, it's a degree from Johns Hopkins. He's good. Whatever it is.
You know, so we're talking just like that, but like those life skills too, like, okay, I learned how to square dance, right, in school. I didn't learn how to do my taxes. Like, why don't we have those real life skills that we will use every day? So those are those pieces I think would be, so with the mental health piece, like those true life skills, so they know what to do once they graduate or once they get on their own and making their own appointments. Like, kids don't know how to do that. They won't pick up a phone right now and make their appointments. Like, how can we help them do that and be kind of more proactive in that way?
Yeah, and that balance that you all
Yeah,
talked
that
about.
balance, yeah.
Why did we learn how to square dance?
I don't
even
know.
understand
That's
why
the
they used
weirdest
to do-
thing. My gym teacher picked us up. And we went, it was weird.